Hi everyone. Welcome to Road to Cat 99. Just confirm if everything is perfect. You should be able to hear me. You should be able to see the screen, right? And we will keep it little interactive. So whatever doubts you have in middle of the session, you can unmute or you can just put it in the chat box as well, right? Just confirm if everything is going fine. Just give a thumbs up or put it in the chat. Hello. All right, fine. Cool. So this session is basically for all of you, right, who have started their preparation, right, but still not clear about how to structure it because there are too many things on the portal to cover, right? And everything seems important. So there are too many things on your plate. You should cover everything before your interview, right? So I would say we are at, let's say, towards the beginning of February at this point of time, right? So if you are watching this video through the recording or attending it live, right? So first, let's understand how your journey should begin when you enroll in the course, right? So first you have to strictly follow the things in this particular order, right? So this is going to be your portal, right? And this entire thing, right? This entire thing you should follow in the given sequence. First, you should read everything that is mentioned there, right? So in this document, I have clearly mentioned all the things that you have to do, that you have to follow, how to join the groups. Even after mentioning it 100 times, I am getting the same kind of queries. How to book the slot? There is link for the slot booking sheet, and when you go to that sheet, right, that sheet is pretty simple. In this student ID, you can get all your IDs, right? Here is the group links which you have to join, right? Here you have to just put your name against any mentor, right? This easy to book the slot with any mentor, right? Then there are a couple of things which you can explore later on, right? But if you go through this entire document, right, and understand what we are discussing in this video, I think you will be sorted with how to structure your preparation for the GDPI, right? So now just giving you a very basic idea, top level idea about what exactly is the GDPI or what is the syllabus for the GDPI. First thing is there is no fixed syllabus, right? So you have to cover everything, whatever you are going to say or whatever is related to you. The main advantage of this entire preparation is I would not say that this is a random preparation. The more you structure it, the better clarity you will get. For example, if one of you has done UG in BCom, right? And if one of you is coming from Rajasthan, right? If one of you is coming from Delhi University, if one of you has done internship in this area, if one of you has some gap years, so everything is related to your profile only, right? It's just that sometimes we don't have answers ready for those kind of questions, or sometimes we are not clear with what exactly we have done, what was our contribution, and what are our career goals or future goals, right? So once you start getting or once you start writing down answers for these questions, which is basically your HR questions, right, you will get much clarity on what exactly you did during your past. And then there are other areas related to your graduation. So when it comes to graduation, you should be your mentor in deciding कि मुझे क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना, right? What are the important things that I have to cover? And believe me, no matter from which stream you are coming, how many subjects you had in your graduation, I think if you structure it, right, for example, if you start picking 2 or 3 subjects daily and start covering different topics, you have to just cover the surface level part, right? In no subject or in no topic you have to have very in-depth knowledge. In-depth knowledge is always, I would say, appreciated, right? But in case, let's say, if you are able to answer 70% of what they are asking, but not able to come up with the rest 30% of the things, that's completely fine, right? Second is there will be no right or wrong answer throughout your journey. So this is one of the biggest mistake that a lot of you are going to do. In case you don't practice enough number of mock PIs, you don't participate in GDs, you are not active on the Telegram group, right? So here I would like to re-emphasize on this fact that if you are not active on the Telegram group, you are already losing on 30% of your success, right? Because you will directly face a lot of questions from our CA discussion, from the discussion that you are having with the peer group with this cohort. If you're not active on the group, that clearly says either you are not committed to this GDP prep, right? Or you are not serious. You have purchased the course, you have spent 10,000 rupees, but now the motivation is not there, right? So again and again, I would re-emphasize on the fact that, for example, yesterday we discussed how the startups are valued, right? Once you have diverse views from your peer group, you will learn a lot of things and it will increase your retention, right? If you just keep going through Google, if you just keep going through Instagram content, you will not find a lot of things new. Second is the retention or the memory loss is quite frequent, right? But if you just chat with your friends, if you form again, I would re-emphasize on what we have discussed a week back, right? Form a group of 5 to 10 highly enthusiastic people, and you will find a lot of good people who have calls from top tier colleges or who have calls from, let's say, below average college, but they are very serious about their preparation, right? Form a group of those kind of candidates and keep discussing the things every day. आपको कुछ और करने की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ेगी. For example, if you find 5 people who are interested in discussing economics, right, just keep discussing economics for the next 5 days. Your entire economics prep will be sorted, right? Then third point is, don't take your calls, I would say, don't treat it as like a random call that you have received, right? Show some respect to the calls, or I would say don't take your calls for granted, right? The entire cohort that is going to take the interviews or that is going to give the interviews, right? The entire cohort in itself is highly competitive. You might be taking your prep for granted, but definitely the rest 90% of the candidates are not. Even for a college, let's say like IIM Rohtak, or even for a college, let's say SDA Bokoni, or even for a college like, let's say, like NMIMS, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5 colleges, right? If you have got the call, I'm pretty sure 90% of the students prepare very hard for it, and there are just 10% of students who feel lost, right? And if you are feeling lost, or if you don't have right set of motivation, then that means you are just wasting your money and your time here, right? And if we are starting, let's say, from the beginning of Feb, right, we have very less time to cover. We want to cover everything. We have to cover everything, right? And we will structure our preparation, and then we will see how far we can go, right? So again, you may have a lot of drawbacks, disadvantages on your side. Score might be very low. You may feel that you have to cover each and everything, right? Koshik, please avoid this here, please. Cool. Right, so you may feel that कि मुझे सब कुछ पता होना चाहिए. I should know everything around me. I should know everything about India, about Indian history. No, right? What I would suggest you guys, that whatever we are giving you in terms of lectures, in terms of PDFs, in terms of suggestions, just cover that thing along with having a very strong hold over what you have done in your life, right? Just two parts about you and about what we are giving. That's it, right? And third part is what I believe, that in the first 5 to 7 minutes of your interview, the interview or any normal person who is listening to that conversation gets an idea about you as a candidate. And obviously, if I am interviewing 100 candidates in a sequence, one after the other, definitely somewhere in my mind, unintentionally, right, due to some biasness, cognitive bias, I will start comparing your performance, let's say, with others' performance, right? So in the first 5 to 7 minutes, when you face questions like why MBA, right, or some questions related to your UG, so in first 7 minutes you will face a lot of questions related to you. If you are having a difficult time in answering those questions, that means you are underprepared, right? So again, you can definitely control those kind of things. You have to just prepare about you. And in that case also, I have already discussed in the static GK video, right? You have to read more about your city, about your state, about the things around you, about your college, who established that, what is the vision, all that things you can prepare, right? Again, I would say only material is enough. If you are feeling that you have covered thousands of PDFs and now you are interview ready, believe me, you are not. Because in the interviews or even in the mock PIs, you will face those kind of questions which you might not have even imagined, right? So here again, the peer group learning, the discussions among yourself will initiate a lot of new questions, will generate a lot of new questions, right? Which you will discover over the time. And then in the same group, you will find questions for that. For example, a lot of people were discussing economics related stuff in the Telegram group. And there someone gave a question around the Phillips curve, and he himself mentioned the answer for that as well. And Phillips curve is very, very important. If you are from economics background, right, in macroeconomics, Phillips curve is very important. If you are from BCom or BBA, but still economics is expected from you, in that case, what is aggregate demand curve, what is aggregate supply curve, this and that, very important. If you are from finance background, a good level of knowledge from finance is required, right? There are a lot of CAs as well, right? Discuss the things with them, right? So when you are discussing the things with the professor in the actual interview, right, the fifth point is what defines you, right? The amount of knowledge will not define who you are, but the kind of clarity that you are bringing on the table, right? The thought process, the structure, right? What clarity you have for your career, what clarity you have about the decision that you took in past, right? What kind of knowledge you have. So knowledge along with the clarity is what they are looking for. If you don't know, let's say, who is the fifth prime minister of India, that's completely okay, right? If you don't know who is, let's say, vice president of India for the moment, that's completely, I think, okay to an extent, right? But if you don't know, why do you want to do an MBA, or if you don't know about your major subjects in your graduation, or if you don't know about your work ex industry, then that means you are not prepared well, right? So if you just go through these two answers, right, just read these two answers and let me know which answer sounds more impactful. Second one is more impactful, right? Right. So now here understand one thing, that the question asked here is about why MBA, right? The person who is going in the interview with a stellar profile, right? He has 999 during his academic journey, right? But the point is his answers are not relevant, right? When they are not asking you about your profile, but still you are mentioning your profile for why MBA. And on the other hand, just look at the answer of a candidate who is going for the same interview, same panel, but with a very, let's say, 8-8 profile or a normal profile, right? The candidate is bringing clarity on the table, that why he wants to do an MBA and how he has made the decision, right? So he is linking it up with the work experience, right? And over time, what he has noticed or what he has realized. So this kind of clarity is expected from your answers. So if you are thinking that I can speak on these topics, everyone will. if they are inviting 5,000 students for interviews, I am pretty sure 4,998 students will speak something on every question they are going to face. If I ask you why not MA, why MBA, you will speak something for sure. You will not be silent. But what exactly you are going to speak is what matters. They are not there testing you ki how much you can speak, how better you can speak. They are looking for the kind of clarity. They are expecting you to be a professional manager or to be a student who is eligible for a seat in IIM or a good B school, right? And if you feel or if they feel that you should be there, then definitely they are expecting कि यार इस बंदे को अपनी चीजों के बारे में क्लैरिटी होनी चाहिए. The kind of answers that this person is giving should have a very good structure, a very good logical thinking. He should not be bushing around the bush or beating around the bush, right? And I notice this in a lot of your SOPs, in a lot of your answers, where you are just randomly stating some of the things in no sequence, right? You are just filling the space, or you are just trying to be so smart in telling your achievements. And also understand one thing, that you should be able to recognize which achievements are important, right? Just saying that I was the president of my UG this society, right? You cannot put that information in every answer, right? If it is relevant to some answer, go ahead. Maybe you can include it in tell me about yourself or what you did during your college days, how was your participation in club activities, right? But if I'm asking you why MBA, right, then focus more on the learnings part or on some realization that you had during your tenure as a president. Then in why MBA, don't again mention or state directly that I was the vice president. यार तुम्हारा president होना या vice president होना कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है in MBA interview, right? You as a 18-year, 19-year-old kid saying that I was a senior consultant of this society. Do you really think that you are a senior consultant or you had that kind of knowledge with respect to the title that you had? No, right? So in those cases, it's always good to mention that I was a senior consultant or something, but focus more on the impact or on the work that you did, right? Again, for that kind of thing, sit with your mentors, get your SOP, HR answers reviewed, then finally prepare or rehearse on that. Right, so this is not relevant, but yeah, I want to discuss, for example, let's say if you join the course, or let's say if you have already joined the course, so again that document in itself is complete, where we have also mentioned every task that you have to go through, right? But again, let me again tell you in what sequence you have to follow what things, right? First and foremost task is HR questions. HR SOP questions. There is a Word document in which we have already listed around 10 or 12 HR questions. And in that document only, you will find the name of two videos, right? Which you have to go through, which provides you a complete structure on how to write the HR answers. After writing HR answers for those 10 questions, right? And let's say in case you are not getting any idea on how to start, even after watching the session, right? Go to the AI mentor that we have developed, right? Have a little conversation with it. Then you will get a clarity. Write answers for all the 10 or 12 questions that are there in the document. If you want to include more questions, you can do that. Then book a session with your mentor or with any mentor and get those questions reviewed. You should have at least two HR SOP review sessions, at least two HR SOP review sessions. And in case you feel you want more sessions, definitely you can book one-to-one slots for more number of sessions, right? But at least your HR SOP questions should have 80 or 90% of relevance factor, right? And along with that, start reading the current affair PDFs that we have uploaded on the portal, and also the current affair sources that we have mentioned in the slot booking sheet. Go through that, read the current affairs on daily basis, right? And enjoy while reading the current affairs. In this case, I would say, rather than focusing on very, let's say, some specific news about Ravindra Jadeja, about Indian cricket or something, go through 4 5 different articles or editorials or opinion pages of different newspapers. Those 4 5 different topics will give you a good chance to learn everything around that topic. And every day, right, the opinion page of newspapers includes topics from diverse ranges, right? So if you cannot follow the news on everyday basis, at least follow the opinion pages. For static GK, in next 4 to 5 days, we will upload a PDF. That PDF will cover most of the things, but before that, also watch the session for the static GK that I have conducted, in which I have mentioned that what all things you need to cover for yourself, right? Let's say your college, right? Your city, distance of area of your city, right? Some 5 advantages or disadvantages of your city. All these questions should be well prepared in advance, right? So current affairs you will regularly follow. HRSOP questions you should take 2 or 3 days or 4 days to prepare and then get it reviewed by the mentors. Then the next 10 15 days should go towards your UG preparation, towards your WorkX preparation, right? When it comes to WorkX, you should cover whatever that comes into your mind. You should definitely cover about your company, about your role, right? And in case if you feel that, okay, I can be asked these questions, right? Just create a Google document of that, write answers to that, and then get it reviewed by your mentors. ठीक है इतना कवर हुआ after that be very highly active in the telegram groups in that discuss your hobbies part because I'm pretty sure 90% of the candidates are going to say that this was my passion or this is my passion, this is my hobby, right? There can be too many technical questions around your hobby. So start finding the people who share the same hobby as yours and start discussing things with them, right? And apart from that, cover each and every session, each and every PDF that we have uploaded on the portal. We have uploaded all the things that are required, right? We have uploaded or we have conducted every session that is necessary. We are going to conduct more sessions. For example, there will be session on microeconomics, macroeconomics. There will be session on puzzles, right? So there will be a lot of sessions. There will be a session on Indian budget. When the budget will be released, we will discuss that as well, right? But make sure you have covered each and every session that we have uploaded and you are going through the domain wise PDFs that are there on the portal, right? And apart from these resources, if you feel that you need some extra resources or some special kind of sessions, just let me know in the telegram group. We will arrange that as well, right? So the main part of any interview process is going to be your PI and your GDs, right? VATs are also there, right? VAT will also be there for I think almost all BLACKI interviews, but I think your personal interviews and group discussions will play big role, right? It can directly influence your marks. But when it comes to VATs, I think uh, every one of you will be able to write some kind of things. But again, here also I would say keep practice VAT at least one in every 3 days, right? Because some of you might not be very comfortable in giving a proper structure to the VAT or may not have a very appropriate knowledge on what to include and what not to include, right? Again, we have conducted VAT session as well, right? So just go through that. You will find a lot of talking points. You will find a lot of points with which to start and with which to end. All right. So these are very basic things which you should know about yourself, right? So all these things are related to you only. Who am I? Your name, your religion, city, right? And you should divide your life into, let's say, 4 phases: childhood, teenage, adulthood, and your future goals, right? Then let's say from which institute you are coming, what's your work ex. So all the things that I have already discussed, right? Right. So again, these are few questions. I think you can get more questions through the AI bot, but let's say these are few questions which can be there related to your college life, related to your work experience, related to why MBA, right? So in the why MBA, you don't have to be very flattery. You don't have to tell them a hundred of things about their college, right? If they are asking you, okay, why do you want to do an MBA? Then the answer should be related to you and should not be a generic answer. You can include some generic stuff at the closer of your answer, right? But 70% of your answer should be around why do you want to do an MBA? And in that case, I would say, right, focus on the concrete reasons, right? Or follow a logical path. Right? So these are all the things that you obviously will see in your portal, right? So this is renamed to Start Here. So this is the first section, which is now named as Start Here, read everything, and then you have to cover everything. Slot booking process is very simple, right? So then after the second tab, you will see all these things, right? And we have covered a lot of things in I think every tab, right? We have had a lot of sessions. I can show you on the portal so that you get a better understanding about how to move forward, right? So, for example, you have to first cover each and everything here, right? Then again, the same kind of stuff, how to book the slot, how to book these kind of things, right? Then we have conducted a lot of sessions for GDPI, VAT, SOP or extemporaries, right? So how to write VAT, how to crack GDs, how to SPIs, right? You definitely should cover all these things. Then we have domain wise sessions, right? Every session for every domain. Then we have institute specific session in case you are interested in particular college, you can go through these things, right? Then we are on a daily basis covering a lot of things around. So we already have 3 current affair brush-up sessions. I think fourth is on the way, right? Indian politics ke bare mein, Indian economy. So these are basic stuff which is expected from you, right? So again, you should definitely go through all these sessions. Then domain prep material, all these materials are here. PI transcripts are there, right? So just make sure that you have covered each and everything that is there on the portal, right? Don't miss on any topic, don't miss on any session. The sessions are hardly of 90 minutes, I would say. Just watch the recording at 2x or just attend it live, right? You will enjoy it and then create notes out of that, right? So this I have already mentioned. Yeah, this is a slot booking sheet. You can see that you will have access to all the mentors. You can go through the mentors profile as well. And this is the Telegram discussion group, right? So we will be creating a lot of more topics. I think a lot of new topics have also been added. Just make sure that you as a person are active on the group, right? If you start getting more active, you will make new friends. And if you have a good cohort of 5 or 7 people now, those 5 and 7 people can do anything for themselves, right? For example, if you make a group of very strong group of 7 people, you can have GDs for yourself, you can have group interviews for yourself, right? You can discuss things post the session, right? You can discuss 100 other things that are going around the world, right? So have those kind of discussion among yourself so that you yourself are interested in this GDPI prep. If you start getting bored of these things, then believe me, it may the entire GDPI prep may feel as a very huge burden on your head, राइट सो हमें वो नहीं करना कि यार हमें हर पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे ये लगता रहे कि यार हमें तो ये प्रेप करनी नहीं है, मेरे दिमाग पे बहुत प्रेशर है. एंड आई एम प्रीटी श्योर अ लॉट ऑफ यू मस्ट बी गोइंग थ्रू दिस फीलिंग कि यार बहुत ज्यादा करने को है, बहुत ज्यादा करने को है, ये तो कर ही नहीं पाऊंगा मैं, राइट? आई वुड अगेन एम्फेसाइज ऑन गिव अ स्ट्रक्चर टू योर प्रेपरेशन, right? You will find everything doable. And talk to your friends, discuss how they are doing it, right? Discuss a lot of things कि यार मेरे से ये नहीं हो रहा, मेरे से वो नहीं हो रहा. Do you have any better method? Do you have any better resource to cover current affairs and all that? You will find answers to everything. But if you are following just me, or if you are following just a particular mentor, that means you are not getting the access to diverse views, right? Either you are following my mentality, either you are following someone else's mentality, right? Which might go wrong in some cases, but the biggest disadvantage is you will not be able to hear experience of 100 other people who are currently going through all these things, right? So current affair discussion ho gaya, puzzles ho gaya, guesstimates ho gaya, right? Start going through all these things. And once, I am pretty sure in every interview you will see all the stuff that you have discussed, right? कुछ ना कुछ यहाँ से वो डेफिनेटली पूछेंगे ही पूछेंगे, राइट? द इंटरव्यूज आर नॉट रैंडम, इट मे फील एज रैंडम व्हेन यू आर नॉट प्रिपेयर्ड इनफ। अगर आपको पता ही नहीं होगा हु इज द गवर्नर ऑफ योर स्टेट, right, then you will feel ki yaar the interview was completely random, they were focusing on static gk. But this is a part and parcel of gdpi prep for mba interviews, right? वो expected है कि you should know how indian politics work, how, what is the structure of indian elections, all these things you should know. If you are unaware about these things, that means you are underprepared or you have not paid attention to what we have given you on the portal, right? So keep discussing all these things, right? Then I think you already know about these things. That's fine. This is the number of sessions we planned earlier, but I think we have covered almost everything in it, right? Few sessions are pending, for example, on micro and macroeconomics, on Indian budget. Prodman is done. Operations session is also pending, I think, right? I think rest are covered, right? Almost 90% is covered. We will add more number of sessions if required. Yeah, so this is very important, right? So this is a list of channel which I used to follow, I think 2 years back for my GDPA preparation. If you want to follow the same channels, good to go. If you want to review it or if you want to modify it, feel free to do that as well, right? So static GK, most of the things you will get in your PDF. Current affairs ka PDF we are also providing. But again, this point is very important, that ensure active participation in the daily live current affair discussion that we are conducting. Right? Yesterday, we conducted a discussion on startup valuation. Most of you did not attend that. And now just think about it, कि उसका impact क्या है? We conducted the startup valuation discussion, right? You did not participate. Do you feel कि आप आज उसको कवर करोगे या परसों कवर करोगे या कभी उसके बारे में सोचोगे भी? Or let's say if we have a current affair discussion on Indian history, do you believe that if you miss that discussion, you will find a separate time for that on some other day? No, because on some other day, we will have some new discussion, right? So जो भी task daily basis पे हो रहे हैं, make sure you are covering that. In case you are missing on those kind of tasks, make sure you have a tight list of schedule or tight list of backlogs to cover, and then create next day schedule accordingly, right? Usko let go mat karo, because again, right, a lot of things can come from those discussions as well, right? Academics mein you should revise all the core subjects, even if you have, let's say, 2 years of work experience. Review your mark sheets carefully, right? This is very, very important, right? When it comes to mark sheets na, there will be some weird or extraordinary or unusual subjects about which you may not have a very good idea, right? So it is very easy for the professors to pinpoint or to pick those subjects by looking at your mark sheet, right? So if you are already expecting some kind of questions, just have a surface level idea about all those subjects and have 3 or 4 your favorite or your, let's say, well prepared subjects on your fingertips. In case they ask you what are your favorite subjects, you should be able to throw at least 2 or 3 subject name, and then you should be well prepared around the concepts of those subjects, right? Regarding the hobbies, see, hobbies, interest areas are something which are personal to us, right? And कभी कभी ऐसा होता है, for example, if I love to play cricket, right, then I may not have any idea about who is Virat Kohli, and that's completely okay. I love to play cricket. I play cricket for, let's say, 4 hours per day, right? But if I don't know, right, what are the different kind of tournaments that are there, right? Who won the first, let's say, international World Cup or something? Let's say if I don't have any idea about that, or let's say if I play cricket or if I play football, if I play chess, but I don't have any idea about, let's say, the weight of cricket ball, right? The dimensions of a general pitch, some things like that. But when you are going to MBA interviews, irrespective of your interest level, irrespective of your dedication towards that hobby, towards that sport, towards that interest area, irrespective of that, you should have a strong hold over technical questions. right? So for example, cricket may there can be questions around weight of cricket ball, radius of basketball, yo-yo test. All these questions can be there. Who is your favorite player? Let's say if you end up speaking MS Dhoni is my favorite player, then you should also know the birth date of that person, which is 7 July, right? So there can be questions related to these kind of stuff as well. So hobbies may just don't think ki I will mention painting and then everything will be sorted, because professors will not have a lot of idea. They do research about your profile for 2 minutes, 5 minutes before your interview, and they are smart enough to know the technical questions around your interest areas, right? So never ever fake your interest areas or hobbies. Always go with the genuine hobbies that you have, and go with the very focused and dedicated preparation for hobbies, right? There are too many technical questions asked in the past, right? Then domain specific knowledge, right? If you are saying that I will I have a preference towards marketing domain, or I want to do a job in HUL or PNG, then you should know some marketing concepts. Let's say very surface level knowledge, but still decent knowledge is expected. And in case you are saying that I have not yet decided on what job or what kind of domain area I will choose after my MBA, in that case they may ask, okay, tell me two or three interest areas of yours in which you want to do your job post MBA, right? So in that kind of thing, let's say if you end up saying, and I see a lot of aspirants say that I want to do a job in consulting, right? Then you should have some basic sense about how to solve the guesstimates, how to solve the case studies. And then let's say, so over the past 2 to 3 years, this is a trend that is there, that in lot of interviews, they ask you some questions related to your uh, analytical or logical skills, right? And the kind of questions they ask is purely the puzzles, right? So if you say that your strength is logical thinking, your strength is analytical thinking, right? They may ask you some two, three different kind of puzzles, right? And so for puzzles as well, I think we have mentioned two, three websites for that as well. Like Brainstaller is one website. Geek for Geeks is another website that you should follow, right? All these websites have different kind of puzzles, right? So you should cover those puzzles as well, right? Then how to handle all this, right? As I have mentioned, start your preparation, right? Even if you are feeling that there is very less time, I would say don't focus too much on what you cannot control, right? Because again, if you start putting your attention in that area, right, you will end up wasting more and more time. Begin with HR questions, cover current affairs, general knowledge on a daily basis, get your HR questions reviewed, then cover your UG, your work your static GK, right? Participate in the Telegram group activities, discuss the things with your peer group, appear for mock interviews. Don't fear them. I see every time every candidate has this fear that I am not prepared, I will not be able to face the mock PI, right? If you feel that you are just 30% or 50% prepared before the mock PI, just explain this to your mentor, right? That, sir, I believe I am 50% prepared. I have not covered my UG. So please don't ask me questions related to that. But the mock PI will give you a reality check on where you stand and what else you need to cover. Till the time you are avoiding mock PIs, you will not be able to see where you stand. You will not be able to realize how much you have to cover. You will not be able to see if you are prepared or unprepared, and you will not be able to realize what are your weak areas on which you have to focus. For this, mock PIs are very, very important, right? So, for again, emphasizing on mock interviews, that everyone has some kind of fear when they go for mock interviews, right? Taking the mock interview is the only step which helps you reduce that fear, right? And again, that entire understanding make you realize that, okay, these are the areas where you have good control, and these are the areas which can go against you and can increase your chances of getting rejected, right? Then it's always better to make 100 mistakes. It's always better to feel ashamed of the fact that you don't know anything in front of me, right? But if you feel the same in the actual interview, they will straight away reject you, right? Because they have to select 500, 700 students out of 5,000, right? And believe me, after taking two or three mock interviews, just two or three mock interviews, you will naturally become good at it. Because uske baad, you yourself will expect the kind of questions that can be asked, right? You will get a decent idea. Okay, these are the kind of things that can be asked, right? I should prepare the things in this manner, right? I should cover these things. But that will only happen after you appear for 2 to 3 mock PIs, right? And whenever you have some self doubt, you have to just ask one question, that am I motivated enough? Am I willing enough to prepare? Can I devote time to this? If the answer is yes, then that means you have a perfect start, because your portal, the list of mentors, and the kind of material that you have, right? These things are more than enough. You don't know anything beyond this. You have a lot of mentors, you have dedicated mentors on WhatsApp, you have access to all the sessions, right? Every special request that is raised by you is entertained at every hour, right? I am highly available for all of you. I have been talking to all of you from last 40, 50 days, right? You don't need anything else. Just structure your preparation, just make a very good plan and follow it on a daily basis. That's it. And if you ever feel that you are poor, or you cannot crack it, or you have a lot of self doubts, believe me, the problem related to communication, the problem related to low score, right? These are the problems which a lot of students share, right? These are the common problems. But even if you see the cohort that is there, that has already converted, right? Let's say the people who have converted last year, they might have some kind of disadvantages, or they might have some kind of their own problems, right? So everyone has some kind of problems, everyone has some kind of advantage areas, right? For the problems, you have to talk with yourself, you have to talk with your mentors, you have to introspect, and then you eventually will figure out one way to tackle all these kind of things. And for the strengths, right, you have to just practice, you have to just prepare more about that, so that in case the interview go in that direction, you should be able to cover, you should be able to answer each and everything around that, right? The smart approach, the approach which is exhaustive, right, is know your college well, top things around everything about you, right? Practice regularly, be consistent, right? Don't, I would again emphasize on the fact that don't see this GDPI prep as a burden on your head. Enjoy the phase, right? This is like, let's say you have to prepare for another 40 days, 50 days, that's it, not more than that, right? Give everything, whatever you can to this, right? Once you have that convert from your dream college, you will understand and you will cherish the kind of efforts that you have made for that. Thank you. And if you have any questions related to GDPI booster or related to your GDPI prep, feel free to ask in the chat box. So for current affairs, I would suggest you to cover the compendium, right? For the current affairs, I don't think chat GPT will help you a lot, right? So current affairs के लिए rely on the compendium, right? Don't worry too much about it. Will a software developer be questioned on topics like economics, or are they mainly asked? No. So if you are a software developer, I would say you have a basic sense of what is Indian economy or how we are doing, right? But you will not be asked a specific topics until and unless it is somewhere related to your profile or related to your work ex. See how to tackle low academic score or something, right? Again, right answer to this question, get it reviewed by the mentor, right? Generally, when you have a low score, you have to back it up with something else that you were doing at that time. If you're saying my 12th score was low, as low as 60%, right? Then either show them how you progressed after that. Maybe during your college time, your score might have increased, or tell them the kind of learnings, the realizations that you have from that low score. And you can just go to the website and see. I mean, I don't want to discuss that part. Just go to website and you can see. Cool. All right. I hope you guys will get more serious now, right? And we have very limited time period, February and March, right? Give it whatever you can to this preparation. And hopefully, I wish that we all converted this year. Chalo, ji. Good luck. Bye bye.